Hello, my friends. Welcome back to another REHI Podcast. Today, I bring to you a very interesting guest, Ilja Andrejev.
Yeah, hi.
Ilya, or actually Elijah Anderson, as you would like to call.
Yeah, this is my pseudonym as a photographer. I use that.
Yes, and we actually work together because we almost every day we spend in this studio working together. And you make all of the description of the videos. You make a lot of research, most of the research for the Twitter, actually. You said you upload and edit these podcast episodes.
Yeah, usually I'm behind the camera, so
Yeah.
I'm glad to be here on this chair.
The man, the myth, the legend who actually makes this stuff happen. So press an F for the chat for Ilya. But what I will just open up immediately. Ilja Andrejev or Elijah Anderson? What's the difference? How it happens?
Ilya Andreev, it's my name in a passport. I started to use Elijah Anderson, in my Instagram channel because most of the viewers are English speakers, and this name sounds for them better. So and easily to remember that.
I'm guiding you towards the because I know the story. You, let's say 5 years ago, you were almost completely pro-Russian person.
More than 5 years ago. Yes. The story is long. So first of all, I talk about myself a little bit to introduce. I'm a photographer. I'm a videographer. I'm working with with a picture. And it's a long story. Maybe 15 years ago, I was totally vatnik. Like I didn't speak Estonian or English, so I lived in this information bubble. I believed in Russian propaganda and everything. Because I grew up in a city of Mardo. In Estonia, there is like 2 or 3 places which is like a small country within a country, like small Russia. It's Narva, it's Kohtla-Järve, and it's Mardo. Mm-hmm. It's like different world, and it took a long time to understand a couple of things. But yes, here I am, and. The thing is, when you don't speak Estonian, don't speak English, and if you went to Russian school, the Russian society, it's built like that to hold you in this information bubble. And very interesting, like in Estonia we have 2 societies which is don't interact with each other, Estonian and Russian. Like Estonians, sometimes I think they are too tolerant to Russians. Like, do your stuff, like live your life. We don't mess with you, and you don't mess with us. So, this is a little bit wrong because we have like a lot of Russians who vote for pro-Russian parties, and we have we had a pro-Russian party in Tallinn in 20 years in a row, and they just was kicked out of the city government because of corruption scandals. Russian and corruption, it's like 2 things go together. So, but slowly, that was my story. I grew up in this city. I'm from Russian family, so I went to Russian school. The Russian schools don't teach language skills very well, because it's how this Russian society built with a purpose to hold in this their Russian themes, the Russian topics, and to have like separatists part of society, like it happens in Donbass, Lugansk. Every country that was in the Soviet Union has this part of society, usually Russian-speaking society, always Russian-speaking society, and they use it like a weapon. And the Russian schools don't teach you to integrate. And at one moment, I started to have interest in photography and videography, and to reach the better materials. They are on English language. To watch the videos on YouTube, better videos, I started to learn English. So, and slowly Yes, my English not perfect, absolutely. I learned it by myself, watching videos, reading materials, and slowly, my view started to grow. And I started to compare the Russian world and the Western society or Estonian society, and it's like two different things. Absolutely, they are so different. And after that, I understood I also need an Estonian language. So I I found a job where only Estonians were, and very quickly I learned Estonians. And to be honest, my Estonian much better than English.
So I always joke around with you that you have made the transformation, the road to Damascus, or whatever you want to quote, which book, but the complete transformation. You're like the patient zero, because you have survived the zombie apocalypse and you're here, and we should take your blood and make it into a cure and inject every Russian with it.
Maybe. The best thing what heals this, it's education. So, and again, because Russian schools don't give a good education, those people usually, if you see the statistics, not so many Russians go to the universities. They usually have only high school education, or with some professional education on a high school basis. Very popular this Lasnamäe Mechanika Kool, where they learn to be an auto mechanics and welders and everything like that. So. And this is in Lasnamäe, where Lasnamäe is the part of the city where only Russians live, and you feel it immediately when you go to the Lasnamäe. You see that everything is dirty. The garbage cans always have these piles of garbage around them. They still don't know how to use garbage cans, and driving style there. Every day you can read in our media something happened on Lagnate. Lagnate is the street where the Tenet film was filmed. This long road. There was a car chase with the Saab and I don't remember some big truck and and I worked on Tenet. I worked as a production assistant 3 weeks there. So
did you meet what was the director?
Nolan,
Christopher Nolan.
I saw them from the far away, but I saw them and all the stars. And I was on this. I saw this when they. This Saab in the film roll over on the roof and explode. I was on the spot when they put explosion. They put this gas.
They use this special effects on Tenet filmed in Tallinn in the Laagna road. Christopher Nolan paid huge amount of money to make these explosions and these car accidents, but actually it's mostly Russian Russian part of town. You should just hang around with the camera on that road, and you don't need special effects. You can just,
you spoke with one of your podcast. Slavs never.
Slavs never disappoint.
Disappoint with content. Yes.
Yeah.
So. But growing up in Russian society, it's very different from Estonian. They always oppress you. First, who gonna oppress you? It's your parents. It's always starts from the family. And nowadays, with this conflict in Ukraine, I know a lot of people who have a conflict in the families because older generation stuck to this propaganda, to pro-Russian views. And the younger generation who already studied in Estonian school or learned Estonian and know English very well and traveled around Europe, they appreciate European values and they respect them. And this inner conflicts in the families I see a lot, but it's a good thing also because Russian society, younger society who live here third or fourth generation, they already not Russians. They are already very well integrated.
Yeah, it's the education which can fix it, like you said. But this is why Russians and the leadership and Putin's inner circle, they have the gas and oil money to invest into education, but they don't want to because it would take away their main weapon, which is exporting the Russians abroad to weaponize them against those countries. You can weaponize Estonian Russian minority because they are uneducated.
Yes, and because of that, they are prone to believe Russian propaganda, and not only Russian, because like those elections that we had now, like I saw the reporter took an interview in Narva, whom you vote for, and most of the people said like Ivo Peterson, it's a candidate from KOS party, it's like
Estonian party together, which is very, very pro-Russian, almost only Russians.
Yeah, like Ivanov is his surname. He escaped Estonia because they wanted to put him in a jail, for betrayal, country betrayal, and he now in Russia. And Ivo Peterson also, he candidated from the jail.
Yeah, we actually have we had Europarliamentary elections, and one of the candidates from the party together, the leader of the party, Ivo Peterson, is right now in custody because of how do you call traitor? Traitor of the country against Estonia. He's going to serve a sentence, but he was a candidate for European Parliament. So crazy.
Yeah, and our ex-Tallinn major, Kõlvart, he gets votes, and it was like 27,000 votes, and I think it's mostly Russians, most of the Russians. Because any country that Soviet Union occupied, they deliberately deported the locals and brought Russians. Mardo, it's like artificially populated by Russians in
Mardo
80s.
is like very close to Tallinn. It's like 20 minutes from Tallinn, but it's a completely like separated.
Yeah, country within a country. Yes, because they are like, for example, when the COVID was, and when the COVID was, first of all, the mayor of the city, he can't be a mayor because he don't have this education, and they deleted all the personal information about him, because if you need a higher education, and he has only like some polytechnicum, like high school education.
In Russian world, everything is possible, right?
Yeah, and he put all his family members to high positions in this city, like to be second, not the manager.
So we have Mardo, we have Narva. All of these, like Eastern Estonia, is fully artificially populated by Russians in like the 40s, 50s and 60s, because in the 30s and 20s Estonia, Ida-Virumaa, Eastern Virumaa, Eastern Estonia, basically it was fully Estonian.
Yes, Narva was so beautiful city. I see the pictures before the war, and Russians came and destroyed like and it happened. Germans already left, like 3 days after the Germans left,
and then
came Russians and destroyed Narva city.
Soviet Air Force bombarded Narva after the Germans left, right?
Yes, 3 days after.
So there was no soldiers in the city when the Soviets leveled the city.
Leveled to the ground, yes. Only the castle left and some couple of other. It was more beautiful than Tallinn. Yes, and Russians being Russians. So and this Mardo, there are awful things happening. There's like they're stealing like everything. They have a boxing club there who is like in the COVID times who controlled order, like he bought they bought like a van and drove with this van with this boxing club members, drove with the van around the city, and when they saw like man somebody without the mask, they like jump out and put the mask, you put the mask on.
And this is
quickly.
European Union, and it's like Latvia has the same areas, Lithuania. I'm not sure if Poland does, but it's, you might think, oh, send the Estonian police in, but you really can't, because in European Union the legislation works that local people elect local leaders. So it's not like Brussels or Washington or Berlin is giving us orders. Our city government makes local policy, which makes people happy because local people are leading them and they know the issues here. But this also creates another opportunity for Russians in Estonia to elect fully Russian cities, fully Russian leaders, fully Russian world. And
yeah, like
Mardo,
we have in Tallinn, 20 years in a row, we had this Keskerakond, who's like pro-Russian.
Center party, it's called.
Yes, we can see like we have very bad roads. I worked as a taxi driver for 1 year, and I drove around all the city. So the Lasnamäe has the best roads in the Tallinn, like where the Russians live,
like where is
their electorate. Yes, so they have like the best roads in the city
because the city government was elected by them and fixed.
Yeah. It's a Russian psychology. If you're not with us, you are against us, and they pay for loyalty. And all this, the corruption scandals, how it worked. So the company, there is like city construction offer jobs and projects, yes. So the city government, this pro-Russian government, they bought loyalty, giving these projects to the companies loyal to them. And it worked like that. So it should be an open concourse. Mm-hmm. So, but they already in a concourse, they put a condition which only one company has. Usually it was like you need to have a big yearly income, because only companies who worked with them already has this income. So, and they eliminated from the concourse others. So they taken this friends company, to the job. This company take a smaller company like alltöötaja and subcontractors. They take another subcontractors, and they build a chain from 3 or 4 companies. And all the job done by the cheapest one, with the cheapest labor, with the cheapest materials. But we pay full price. Like we pay roads built by Germans, and we get roads like in Syktyvkar, Rязань, I don't know, some Russian city. And what they do, these companies tell, there is a lot of Russians working there on these construction jobs and everything, and they tell whom to vote for, and they share these pens or visit cards with the candidate names. And those companies who get city contracts, they pay to the party also as donations. Like donations paying for that.
So
and
the money moves around.
Yeah,
right?
money moves around.
So it's like the game of open competition and the game of democracy, like Putin does. He does the elections. He doesn't need to do them because he's the dictator. He will be the dictator, but he plays the game for his own people. Same with, it was the same with Tallinn's government, the capital's government in Estonia. Like you just explained, they just have this open competition where they already know who they're going to choose, and that competitor takes subcontractors.
Yeah, and because of that, they fell because of those. It was this city area, Portofranco, near the harbor. Mm-hmm. Yeah, scandal was with that. It was a new built area, and because of these schemes.
Mm-hmm. Now we have elected. There is a new mayor now, who also has Russian connections. It's really impossible to elect a mayor with fully Estonian background to Tallinn because
when
there are
hundreds
of thousands of Russian voters in Tallinn and also in Estonia. So it's very difficult. They have democratic power in this country, which makes it very difficult to clear out this system.
Yeah, unfortunately, and how its Russian influence works. It's the same was in Donbass and Lugansk. Because those people are very easy to manipulate with propaganda and
Russian population in a country is a weapon against that
Absolutely.
country. And Germans don't see that way. Spanish people don't. Like, Russians love Spain. They go to Spain. It's not super expensive. It's sunny. It's nice. There's hundreds of thousands of
Cyprus,
Russians.
Spain, Portugal, Italy.
And these countries, in European Union, don't understand that the weapon is being used against them. Some other country is weaponizing its population in those countries. They don't do anything against it.
Yeah, because to understand what is happening in the Russian world, you need to know Russian.
Mm-hmm.
It helps me now in my work and to make analysis, because I can go to Russian internet, and it's like it's a different world. If you read what they write, this Rus Postimees, Russian post, we have all the media we have on Estonian language and Russian language,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a huge problem. Because of that, now Postimees they fired almost all the Russian Postimees writers, and now it's working like they only translate Estonian Postimees to Russian, because before that it was two different media. And they always write like, to live in Estonia. And so it's not only Russian media. I read a lot of the state of our media. It's not so good. It's another topic to talk, because I had a practice as a cameraman on our ETV Estonian television. So, and it's was awful experience, and there is not so much professional. There is no professionals there, absolutely. And in Postimees, there is a lot of good writers, but there is also some useful idiots who just repeat the Russian propaganda. They don't think and spread the fears. First, the main weapon of Russia is fear.
Fear, yeah. They export fear through its population. But also the useful idiots phenomenon is interesting, because most right-wing parties in Europe, for example, they're always fighting for their own country. And almost none of them, publicly or officially, is connected to Russia or serves Russian interests. But just for the fact that Russia is one of the world's most populous and famous right-wing country, nationalistic country, just by that coincidence, these parties are useful idiots for Putin's propaganda points. Even if they hate Russia and want to go to war with Russia, they serve Putin's interest only with the fact that they are creating conflict in Europe. They can be fighting for France, for Spain, but if they are ultra right wing, they're fighting for Putin.
Yes, and unfortunately, local media don't explain, and on Russian language, they definitely don't explain what is happening. For example, when the Kaja Kallas party won the
Estonian Prime Minister Kaja Kallas,
Estonian Prime Minister, Reformierakond won the parliamentary election parliamentary. They get a budget after this Keskerakond, full of holes, full of like debts and everything, and. Also, we needed to buy HIMARS and everything, because Russia went crazy, and the local media don't explain that for the people. In Russian Postimees, they quoted Medvedev, like "денег нет, а вы держитесь." There is no money, but you hold on. And people was angry to our parliament and everything. Media sometimes don't explain those things, which is crucial to understand.
Yeah, media is a business, and they lose viewers if they speak the truth. And I mean that's a problem in every country almost. To have press freedom is to have press make like bad decisions for the country, because fear is clicks is money, money is profit.
Yes, but again, I don't want to say something bad about Postimees, because they are doing a good job, one of the best here in Estonia, and I read Postimees usually. So, and it's not an advertisement for them. They do mistakes, but we don't have anything better.
Yeah. And also, I feel like the Russian minority in Estonia has been quite quiet compared to what they were before the war, actually. I mean, they have their mindset still, but people are really, like, they are afraid, because before the war, you see Georgi's pattern, the Russian orange, black, like ribbons everywhere, 9th of May, Den Babede, the Victory Day. They held that in Estonia. After the war, that doesn't happen.
Because you're gonna get fined.
You're gonna get fined by Estonian police. Well, first of all, Estonian police has something like the dialogue police, which is not like Iranian like dialogue police that you will be shot, but an actual dialogue police. They will talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
People will laugh like, "Oh, the police will talk. Where's the force?" But Estonian police actually talks to you before they do anything.
Our police, one of the best in the world, I think. They're very polite.
This is why people trust them so much in Estonia. It's one of the highest trust for police percentage per capita because they talk to you, then they fine you a small amount.
They don't escalate usually.
Then fine you a bigger amount, and only after you like assault them 5 times, they put you to jail for like 5 hours only.
Yeah.
Like
I was a bad boy.
You were also.
Yes, and if we talk about Bronze Night, which happened in 2007.
2007, when all the Russians' 5th column in Estonia rioted and beat up everything.
Yeah, the thing was the Estonian government wanted to relocate Soviet soldier monument from the city center to the
like the military
cemetery. Yes. And I remember this, like it was spread like, oh, you are destroying Russian memory. They didn't want to destroy. They just relocating. Mm-hmm. They not destroying this monument. And I was there, and I was on the wrong side. No, I didn't smash anything.
Oh, you were on the Russian side.
When you first of all, yes, when you are young, you want.
Comments are going wild, like.
Yeah. Because my friend went there. My friend from those times. We not any friends anymore. A long time. Mm-hmm. But I was on this Bronze Night. I was on those side who supported Russia. Yes, and I now remember. And now I understand. There was a provocators. There was a people standing on the higher spots and shouting like
political commissars.
Yeah, political commissars. Yes, KGB. So. And first of all, when you are young, you want to take a part with something big,
revolution all over. Like let's be violent.
Yeah, something big's happening, and there was not. It was not so politically motivated, or because of my views. It was like emotionally driven. And I don't remember, 17 years old or something. 18 years old, around 18 years old, something like that. I don't
like most of Tallinn's first floors of everything were destroyed, windows smashed. It was like I couldn't call it like a crystal night of the Germans because that was murder. I mean, they didn't like murder anybody, but they rioted and beat up everything.
There was a casualty. One man was stabbed with a knife and he died. Yes, but it was like Russian looting. It's just looting. They smashed the windows of the Versace shops or the
then again, like they were like. With those Russian hooligans, you can use force, and when you use force, this is what Putin needs. Oh, they are bullying our people, send in the army. Estonians are very phlegmatic. Estonian police is very friendly. Of course, there was riot police on the streets, but we never overreacted. We reacted very calmly and not accepted the provocations. We're like, okay, we're going to defend, but we're not going to kill anybody.
Yeah, it was like that. They pushed the crowd from this place where the monument was. But this crowd went off on the streets, no bigger streets, and then there was no police there, and they started to loot everything in this area. But I was arrested before all of this looting. There was some guy, I don't know, I don't know how he get this injury, but he was hit. Maybe this.
Rubber bullet?
Not the rubber bullet. They also fired these grenades.
Pepper spray?
Not the pepper spray, like flash grenades. Maybe it exploded just right close to his feet. He was torn off this part of not the fully. He was like on the side, like on the skin, and. It was stupid because we needed to left him because he can get. Now I understand. We needed to left him because the police can get him and give him aid needed. But we grabbed him. We tried to grab him and go where the crowd goes. And I was arrested because we were slower than the crowd, holding him and trying to escape with him. And I was arrested. They put me in the mud, like face down, and I spent the night in the police station. Still, police was very polite.
Estonian police, I mean, they are such nice people, honestly. They're brutal if need be, but they're like, I would trust my life with them, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. And I also trust. It changed because when you're Russian, you learn to not to believe the government, not to trust government, not to trust government source like police. Yes, and it's this Russian mindset, and it's specially made. They use, for example, in Germany, why Eastern Germany voted mostly for the far rights, because this society grew up in this area, USSR influenced area. And they grew up on the propaganda. What propaganda do? Propaganda don't try to make you believe something. They try to make you don't trust anything. The propaganda main tactics, and where is something happening, they immediately spread like thousands on different points of view on this topic. So you can't find the truth, and you start to disbelieve anything.
Yeah, that's how Russian current propaganda works. It's not like one party system in the Soviet Union when there was one truth, but now it's everything is true, so nothing is true.
Yeah. So if you start to speak with some Russians, you can often hear some statements like, "Oh, everybody's lies," or "everywhere is propaganda," and they don't believe anything. And it's specially created this state of mind. Because of that, they believe conspiracy theories. Most of the Russian they believe in conspiracy theories. Again, this propaganda gives this feeling that you have they share with you some secret, like through the internet, some secret. It's already like there is some Zionist government who pull the strings and everything, and we don't tell anybody, only you.
Yeah, did you know that Zelensky is a drug addict, Satanist, Nazi? Shh, don't tell anybody.
Yeah. It's the same like Kaja Kallas and everything. The same thing. They so repeatedly. But living in Estonia, you understand this thing. Estonians know these things and. Unfortunately, the Central Europe, which didn't has this experience, almost didn't has this experience to have a Russian as a neighbor. They don't have an antidote against that.
They don't even know they're being attacked. Oh, we're in Germany. The Baltics are in danger in Poland, but we're never in danger. I mean, they have a Russian minority in that country, which means they are right now being fought against. They don't just know it. They're being stabbed without knowing it. It's we see it. We see the truth. We see Germany. We see Spain. Right? They are being attacked right now. They don't know it. Are you gonna say how are you gonna explain colors to the blind person?
Yeah. But in Estonia was always right speaking about Russia, and when the Merkel started to make deals with this cheap Gasprom, cheap gas, because 80% of Germany gas, this I don't know how I call it, this storages, they were owned by Gasprom. Like 80% of them, if I remember right.
That changed in the first year of war, I think. They nationalized them all.
Yeah, they nationalized them all. But before that, and because of that, Putin could play this game, like didn't give gas to Europe.
But in this sense, if you look how addicted Europe was to Russia in every way, not only gas and oil.
And it was from 70s.
It was coal, it was diamonds, it was gold, it was even weaponry. Some countries in the world, like all of this changed now. And this couldn't have been changed without the war. So the war is definitely bad, but the fact that so much has changed so fast, we the Baltics always waited for this change, always wanted this to happen, and it never did. After 30 years of screaming, change it, look, open your eyes, nobody did. And now they do. So in my eyes, it's like, it's horrible, but thank God these people now see what's happening.
Yeah, I agree with you on that, because in Estonia, we also now like cleaning up all these Soviet monuments, which you couldn't touch because it was the risk of the second Bronze Night.
Now everybody, look, there's no Soviet monuments anymore, nowhere.
Yeah, no,
Are there some?
In Narvas, there's still some stelas or something like smaller ones. But in Narva also there is like government who is listening their voters. If they, again, democracy. if they, it was with this tank. It was scandal because Narva government didn't want to remove this tank.
There was a Russian T-34 in Narva. Russians, like the Soviets, loved to make this into a monument, and it was the fully Soviet occupation monument. And the state decided to destroy it and take it away, but not the city government in Narva.
Yeah, they said to city government of Narva to remove it. And they was not agree because, we have like people who vote for us. If you remove it, we're gonna lose our votes. And because of that, the state government came and removed that.
Yeah, but I remember 2022, 2023 beginning was the 1.5 year period when most 90% of the Soviet monuments in Estonia kind of disappeared. I would say only 50% of them were removed officially by the state because the rest, something happened to it. We were supposed to remove it in 6 months because the state runs slowly, and next night, nobody knows what happened, but there are car tracks and no monuments.
Yes.
Estonians are like that. They're like, phlegmatic, they don't talk, but if you piss them off, there will be a truck at night at your house and nobody knows what happened. So that's like how Estonians work.
Yeah, quiet partisan work.
yes, very quiet, internalized, but they hate for a long time.
Yeah, and I understand that. And yes, Estonian society is so different from Russian. I mean, Russian society is so different from Estonian and the other normal societies. And you feel it like when you work in a Russian company, you don't get a good salary. They always appraise you. They always say you are nothing and everything. And even if you are a good professional they're going to say you are nothing. And always micromanagement. They say every step what to do. Customer service in Russian shops, and if you go some Maximers, the Russians, or Viru McDonald's, for example. Oh, not the McDonald's, yes, but mostly Russians work. They are so rude. They hate the customers, and you feel it. They watching you like you are not nothing, like a cockroach. And you feel it. And when you work in an Estonian company, they trust you. They give you the tools. Russian always give you some broken tool, and I don't know how you do this, but you need to finish the job. I don't care how you do this.
It's even like a little bit stupid for me to discuss this, because for us it's so normal. We know this, but we need to talk about this so much to just open up this world to the Western people, because they don't, how bad can it be? Like, they're Russians, they're people too. You don't know. Like
it constant oppression. It's like it starts from the family, then it continues at school, because the Russian
teachers also.
Teachers, yes. I had a teacher who smashed our fingers with this pinpointer, wooden. And it was like 90s. It already was a democratic, free Estonia. I'm not going to call the school and everything, but I had this experience. constant bullying from the classmates, and teachers don't want to deal with that. They always want to hide the problems, and this hiding the problems. It's also a so big part of Russian society. You like it's the same works like Russian army. They write like on papers and everything is fine when it isn't. And it also, you can feel this in schools, like teachers are rude. They want to create this society of slaves, which is always in fear, because Russian society is built up on a fear. Everybody fears of punishment and gulag mindset, and the Russian company owners, they first thing they try to avoid to pay the taxes and everything. They always like they think like a businessman is this guy who is like sneaky guy who is like trying to steal a little bit here, don't pay full price there and everything. It's not like you are building trust, building partnerships, and taking on a job professionals and pay them well. It's not like that. They never pay what you can have two different shops, for example, from one chain. And I had this experience. I worked in the construction shop. So in this chain, you have two shops. In one, Estonians are the director, and the second one was Russian. And almost everybody was Russians there. And the difference in salary was like 400 euros. Like the Russian shop paid only 800 euros for a job when you need to know things, when you need to be a good seller, you need to learn materials and everything. And for the same job, absolutely the same job, 1,200 Estonian shop paid. It's the same. They have the same logo. They have the same products. Everything the same. But one ruled by Russian, and the second one ruled by Estonians. And Estonians, they leave you do the job. If you are a professional in your area, they don't control you. Do the job and everything. If you do mistakes, they say, oh, Ilya, you did a mistake here. Next time, please don't do that. When you do mistake in Russian, they gonna like drive you with this asphalt. I don't know, with a tractor over you with a bus. Like, they gonna like scream at you, and it's not widespread now, but when the laws was not so established in Estonia, like 2000, they usually you need it. If you drop something on the floor and it breaks, you need to pay for that. And Estonians just put they put like -1 bottle of paint, this can of paint.
Yeah, I mean I cannot really understand it, because for Russians, they're all capitalists. Money is everything for Russians in Russia most. Otherwise, they wouldn't go to war for money. If they go to war, that means money is very important. It is for Estonians also. So the goal is to make money for the Russian state also, to make money. It's a capitalist system.
Steal money.
But to steal, you still have to generate money. And to generate money the most efficiently is to keep everybody happy. Not frighten them, because if they're happy, they work better, they like their job, they want to come back, they don't get depressed. It's simple. Just keep them happy.
Russians usually say that you need to thank us because we are giving you the job. If you don't agree with our conditions, door is there. We have a line of
miserable people who don't like value themselves and want to get people.
Yeah. So, and there was a story like with BMW in Russia, when the Russians came to them and said, or Mercedes, I don't remember, where Russians came from the government, somebody came and said, okay, guys, we are giving you opportunity to work here, you own to us something. So go to the Renault company and make with them automatic transmission. Like,
What?
yes, it was true story. Like they came to BMW and said, if you want to work here, and because you're working here, you own us, everything. So
it's a slave mindset still, yeah. You don't work for somebody, you go and be a slave for them. Even if you get money for it, you're still mentally a slave because they can yell at you, they can like
beat you.
Yeah, but this in European Union, the work in itself, you have to respect who you're working with. And
yes, and professionals.
Yeah,
because I'm a good professional in paints, and once I needed to quickly find some job. I already didn't work in paints, but I needed to
painting area in the
construction shop. There is a painting area, so mixing paints, like. Consulting about them, what goes on top of what and everything, which materials you can't mix, which you can, and everything. So I learned it because I worked there many years and I learned it very well. And I really like this job. And once I needed to find a job very quickly, and I needed to come back to this paint shop, and there was not so many choice, so I went this shop where it's mostly Russians, and they immediately said me like, you are nothing, like, and they prefer not to pay, and this approach never, it's like a closed circle, because they never have a good consultants there. But they don't want to pay for good consultant. And when when I came there, they started to say me like, "You're nothing. Here is the other rules. You need to swallow them, and everything." And they send me always to the other areas to work. Like today, you need to do garden area to I don't know, to shovel some mud and everything. Like, why? I am a professional in paints and learned only paints and don't know how to hold the shovel. Okay, we can say like that. So, and because I didn't work them, I worked in paints. I'm a professional in that. If for them, better they have like a lot of people who not paid very well, and they are not professionals. But for them, it's better like for any business, it's better like to get rid of this people, low quality people. It took one professional who is gonna and pay him well. He gonna rise your profits a lot, and they don't understand that. So
it's weird because it's the same system. It is capitalist in Europe. Of course, it's capitalist to generate profit for the shareholders. In Russia, it's capitalist to generate profit for the thieves who steal it. But the idea is the same: to generate profits. You can generate profits if you have an efficient workforce who is happy to work for you. So in that already, philosophically, I'm having a hard time to understand. They want to make money also, like we do, but they abuse their workers, which is bad for business.
Yes, and I didn't spoke about my experience working with Russian opposition. So how I get to the job with the cameras and everything. So I met one guy from Moscow, and we started to cooperate, his clients, and later our clients, was Mikhail Kasyanov. He was ex-prime minister in the Yeltsin times. So then Nemtsov, who was later killed in the Red Square, Navalny, who was later killed in Russian prison. So they were our clients, and I had opportunity to work with them. And it's awful. It's just awful. First of all, they think only about this. Usually they think only about themselves. They don't want to pay. They don't respect you. They don't respect your experience and everything. And this Russian guy from Moscow, he always screamed at me. He always like tried to give me so much job, like for me not to have like free time. Like, and he called like every 2 hours, scream at me that I need to go to work faster, and if something didn't work, he always blamed me. Like once we made one. It was like cartoon series, political satire. So we had a deadline, and I finished the work a week before deadline, and I sent it to it was his job to put dialogues there, so he needed to read like voiceover to do the voiceover, and he didn't do that. And later, like half a year later, I heard from him like it was my fault that we didn't finish that in a deadline. I sent it like 1 week before the deadline. And we also had like two weeks after this deadline that we could use also. So he didn't voice over it, and it was my blame. And it was everything like that. And he didn't paint. He didn't pay. He didn't bought proper equipment. He always like tried to save money on this, on that, and everything. And always screamed, and always this micromanagement, like calling at the morning to know am I woke up and everything. Like, oh, it's like it was awful experience.
I cannot understand micromanaging, because if you really want to delegate something and one person to do it freely, you have to give space. You have to trust that I trust that you can do it. I trust myself to step away from it so I can rest, and you can feel like you can do it alone. Like you feel like, oh fuck, I did it alone.
For me, still, it's very difficult to like to integrate in this, this working culture, because
you can do it.
I'm taking mistakes so personally, so deep, But
everybody makes mistakes.
All the time. Also learning, I'm learning a lot from Estonians. It's like
how to be there inside. How to be there inside. How to show less emotion.
Yes.
I'm joking about us.
But Russian world is very different from the normal world. And I'm really happy that I discovered the other world for me. That I started to learn English, and most. Like a bigger surprise for me was to discover like a world of the cinema, of the photography. It's like endless. I start to have interest in photography like 10 years ago, maybe 12 already. And step by step, I learned that I do art photography, like mostly it's a street photography, black and white.
Also, your Instagram in the description, you can put it. Go and check out Ilya's photography. Yeah,
Elijah Anderson. There is Elijah Anderson. So my latest interest is like instant photography, because photography is everything about emotions, like that people have some personal emotions when they see in a picture. And nowadays it's very difficult to catch attention. Like on Instagram, it's like if somebody watched your picture like 3 seconds,
that's a long time.
Yes, it's already a win. So it's already a good picture. And then, but with an instant photography, with a Polaroids, and it's a different stuff, absolutely. It's from, if I remember right, it's from 76.
Most, like a huge portion of the viewers are 50s, 60s, so you guys definitely know this camera.
Yeah, maybe you had this in a childhood or teenage time. I really like this, because when you give this physical picture,
it's quite hard to ignore it.
Yeah,
it's in your hands.
Yes, and people really like it. They like watching it like 10 seconds, maybe more. They start to picturing it on the phone. It's they like, oh yeah.
It's stupid to take value away from it. Let's make a photo of the photo with my phone.
So no, it's okay. No, I'm absolutely okay, because it's an engagement. and people engage with these pictures much longer than with digital ones.
Although it's black and white, the quality is maybe the colors are not there, but it's real. It's in your hands.
Yes, and people forgot what it is to hold a picture in the hands. They really forgot it, and for me it's a big pleasure also to see people liking these pictures and love these pictures.
In iPhone, you go 1,000 pictures, delete, gone, but you would have one in your hand. You would not throw it away.
This moment, yes, and this moment doesn't repeat anymore. Like it's. Yeah. No, it's with any photography. Like photography, it's you take in a moment from the life and saves it. In this moment, they're not gonna repeat it. There was no moment like this before, and
never gonna be.
After.
Never gonna be. Yeah.
Yes, and with the instant photography, it's I really like to take this camera on some gatherings because it brings so much attention. Not only to the camera and mostly not for me, but the pictures. Because if you picture the two friends with they're gonna like share with each other this, like one of the friends watching this another, or it's amazing.
And it also has a big portion of why you're able to now speak English, Estonian, and Russian, and have this very open mindset. So
they also have like a color film for that, but I prefer to use black and white. Yes.
Why?
It's more dramatic, and when you remove the color from the picture, there is less destruction. And there is a photographers who prefer to work with color, and it's just someone is better working with the colors. Someone better was working with a black and white, and it's like it's a classic. It's like I prefer that, and mostly because it's more dramatic.
It is, yeah, it is.
And my latest favorite camera, it's Carl Zeiss Iconta 52116. It's from 1937. Yes, it's a fully analog, and it's medium format, millimeters.
It looks so nice in your hands. It's metal and plastic, but over 100 years old almost. Not close yet, but 80, something like that.
8, yeah, something like that. 37.
And it still works?
Perfectly. Yes. I bought it. It was all dirty, and I cleaned it up, and I was afraid that maybe exposure is not right, but I tested it, and it works perfectly. So
how do you charge? What's the power in it?
There is no charge. You just put it like that on a spring, and
that's it?
Yeah, because you have a film in it, and it's just shutter here, and it's everything manual. You need to have a light meter. I have one, so you measure the light with the light meter. So because it don't have like a viewfinder, it's just a simple glass. You need to measure the distance to the object also, and
a lot of measuring has to be done for the photo.
No, there is a stuff here. They are also very smart. Every lens have hyperfocal length, so it gives you opportunity from some meters to the infinity to get all the objects in focus. So they put the red dots on those hyperfocal length. So you don't need to bother. If you have a sunny day, you just put all the settings on these red dots, and just click, and
the build quality and that, honestly, it seems like from a totally different area. Right now, things are not built like that. 80 years later, any camera right now, I wouldn't think it's working. I wouldn't think.
No. Good cameras are good cameras. But yeah, it's a different field. Like analog thing or plastics, like digital.
Yeah.
It's a different and I like it more like this...
it's again maybe iPhone photo versus the real photo in your hand. Like this is the real stuff.
It's clicking, it makes sounds. It's like physical, you feel it.
It's
you
like
feel
a car
the process.
from the 90s. Yeah.
Yes, and I really like to develop it myself because when you picture with that, you never know. Did you have a good picture or not? So
it's like a surprise in the end.
Yeah. It's always like a Christmas when you're developing it. So I really like to work with analog, and I really love photography. I really love to learn history of photography. I love the cinema, world of cinema. I really want to become a film director. Slowly trying to reach that. It's another topic about film industry in Estonia. It's how too hard to get there, and it's gonna take 2 hours more to speak about it. But
we can do another episode on it.
But I slowly reaching my goals, and again to speak about my story of life. And if somebody gonna tell me like 10 years ago where I gonna be now, and I go if 2 years ago when I followed your channel, if somebody tell me like you're gonna work with this guy and sit in this chair and
podcast,
yes, giving an interview on podcast, I couldn't believe that. It's
world has so much opportunities.
Yes, you need to just to believe and be a good person. Trust people and be trustful, and to love life.
I think love life and trust, they're quite difficult sometimes, but to trust I also struggle with this to accept somebody to work together. You don't know anything about anybody. You don't know intentions, you don't know, you just have to trust.
Yes, but to trust the life as a whole.
Yeah,
because for me everything bad was happened in my life. It turned out like years after it turned out to be a good thing. My experience being Russian, being vatnik, now it's like a golden experience. I can dispose their lies and speak how their society works. And I never knew that my knowledge will be so useful now.
Mm-hmm.
It's also came as a surprise for me, like, and I never thought about me like an expert on something. But yes, I can share my experience with the people.
It is very interesting to read what you do on Twitter. But I would say in the end here, yes, to trust people, to trust life, trust oneself, just to go through everything. And все будет хорошо.
Yes, все будет хорошо. Life is smarter than people.
Yeah,
life is smarter than us. We need to trust.
Let go.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for this episode, and thank you for what you're doing.
Yeah, Artur, also thank you for all the opportunities and to give me time to speak and to share.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.